Imagine entering a room and feeling movement where there is none. A delicate dance of wood, suspended in air, shifting with the slightest breath of wind. That is the quiet magic of a wooden abstract mobile. These aren't the nursery toys of childhood, painted in bright primary colors and rattling with beads. These are grown-up sculptures made to hover, to sway, to define a space with gentle, unhurried motion. They transform ceilings into points of light and shadow, corners into places of curiosity, and empty expanses into living compositions that evolve with every passing moment. A wooden mobile begins often with a single idea. A line traced in the air, a form half seen in a dream, a whisper of geometry that begs to be made three-dimensional. The artist sketches and doodles, letting shapes emerge organically, thin slats that curve like reeds, flat planes that twist like ribbons, slender rods that fan out like spokes of a wheel in slow rotation. There's no rush. The goal is subtlety, suggestion, the opportunity for the viewer to see something new with each sway. Material choice is crucial. Woods with warm tones and pleasing grain, maple, birch, walnut, cherry, are favored. Some makers embrace reclaimed driftwood or salvaged barnwood, lines bleached by sun and surf, not still rough with memory. Other designers use plywood for its stability, layering it into shapes that feel almost feather-light despite their solidity. Every piece is sanded to a smooth finish, sometimes oiled or waxed to bring out the inner glow of the grain. Rarely is lacquer used. The look must stay natural, honest, unforced. Then comes the balancing, an act equal parts physics and poetry. A rod might be cut, its length measured precisely so that the slats hung from it all weigh in perfect equilibrium. Too much mass on one side and the mobile tilts awkwardly, too little and it snaps up unpredictably. So makers test, trim, add tiny washers, shift attachment points millimeter by millimeter until the slightest nudge from a passing breeze sends the whole assembly into a graceful oscillation. Never chaotic, never abrupt, but a soft, perpetual undulation. Picture a mobile made of 10 slender wooden blades, each one carved into a subtle curve, suspended from a central spine. Above, a slender slat holds half of them on fine stainless steel cables. Below, another slat holds the rest. At rest, it looks like a geometric cloud hanging in the air. But as air drifts in from a nearby vent or when someone walks by, the blades pivot, catch the light, cast shifting stripes of shadow across the wall behind. Circles become arcs, arcs become ellipses, and the room itself seems to breathe. Some mobiles go further, pairing wood with other materials. Brass rods that catch the light like rays, leather cords that add warmth, small felt or wool accents that soften the sound as elements brush together. Others weave tiny glass beads into the suspension lines, catching sunbeams and splitting them into scintillating pinpricks of color. But the focus remains wood. The goal is a sense that these pieces sprang from nature itself, not an industrial machine. Installing a wooden abstract mobile is an event. A single hook in the ceiling is often all that holds it, but that hook must be level, anchored in wood or proper hardware so the mobile can pivot freely without sagging. When it's released into its final environment, the piece must be tested. A fingertip blow should send the entire mobile into a slow, expanding arc and then back again, tracing curves that feel both predictable and endlessly surprising. It must hang free enough to move, yet stay calm enough to never feel jarring. What happens next is where the real magic lives. You walk past and seem to enter its field. Your peripheral vision catches a moving sliver of wood, your attention drawn to the way it reflects morning light or cuts across a shadow in the afternoon. At night, a single spot of light overhead sends it into a silent ballet, the blades at times spinning together like a single drum, at times peeling away into separate movements before swinging back in unison. It becomes a focal point for your senses, a reminder that even when we sit still, we are surrounded by motion, by invisible currents of air that shape the world. Designers sometimes create series of these mobiles, each with a family resemblance. Similar wood species, shared geometries, but each one unique in its balancing act, its curves, its voice. You might find two hanging in sequence, one rotating slowly clockwise, the next drifting counterclockwise, their patterns weaving together like a slow counterpoint. Or you might see a trio. One above head height, a second at eye level, a third near the ceiling, creating layers of motion that invite you to look up, around, down, and back again. And the scale can shift dramatically. In a cozy reading nook, a coral-sized mobile of 5 or 6 blades might be perfect. Just enough movement to hold your gaze as you turn a page, to break the stillness without distracting from the words. In a large foyer, an installation of dozens of planks, each 3 or 4 feet long, could fill the space like a suspended forest, a canopy of shifting wooden forms that invites you to stand beneath it and watch the dappled shadows play across your shoulders. Creating your own wooden abstract mobile is a journey of discovery. Maybe you start with chopsticks or bamboo skewers to test your concept, stringing them with thread and threadbare bits of scrap wood until something catches your eye. Then you move on to solid stock, finding rods of wood of the right diameter, bending or carving them with steam or hand tools into shapes that twist and curl. You learn about center of gravity and pivot points. You learn that sometimes you need to sand down one side of a blade so that its companion can hover exactly parallel. You learn that the world moves in invisible waves, and if you can catch just a fragment of that in wood, you've made something unforgettable. All of this demands patience. These aren't one-afternoon crafts, but projects you return to over days or weeks. There will be hours spent adjusting measurements, retying knots, shifting lines. You'll test in the kitchen, the bedroom, by the front door because the slightest difference in airflow can change the performance entirely. You'll learn that no two rooms are alike, any more than two trees are alike, and that a mobile must fit its environment as much as its own internal logic. When you finally hang a completed mobile in its forever place, there's a moment, a hush, as if the whole house holds its breath while the new piece adjusts to its new home. Then, imperceptibly at first, it begins to move. And you realize, perhaps for the first time, how alive the air is, how present the space is, and how remarkable it is that a handful of thin wooden shapes, balanced just so, can transform nothing into something that feels at once ethereal and deeply grounded. These wooden abstract mobiles are more than decoration. They're reminders of the elegance of simplicity, of the power of negative space, of the beauty that arises when form and function meet in mid-air, buoyed by the gentlest breath. They bring a sense of calm kinetic energy into a room, a reminder that stillness and motion are siblings, each giving meaning to the other. And every time you pass beneath one, every time you see it shift in the corner of your eye, you're invited to pause, to notice, to reconnect with the simplest delight of watching wood come alive. Some people think wood belongs nailed down, sturdy, static, always doing what it's told. Wooden abstract mobiles flip that idea inside out. Here wood forgets how to sit still. It floats, turns, dips, and rises, caught in an endless conversation with gravity and the slightest breeze drifting through the room. A good mobile is more than decoration. It's a moving sculpture, part art, part physics problem, part meditation. Nothing is nailed to a wall. There's no frame to contain it. It exists in 3 dimensions, unbound, wood that hovers and spins because you made the weights and lengths just right. It starts with pieces that look simple alone. A carved arc, a small disc, a thin plank sanded so light it wants to drift like a leaf. Shapes can be anything. Smooth curves like drifting fish, sharp triangles like birds in flight, tiny blocks and spheres strung like beads along a wire. Alone they're quiet. Hung together on fine rods or thread, they become poetry in slow motion. Balance is the secret sauce. Every wooden piece needs a counterweight. Hang one shape wrong and the whole branch dips too low or spins out of control. So you drill tiny holes, test where to run the wire or rod, adjust by millimeters until it hovers level. Then you do it again for the next arm. And the next. Get it wrong and the mobile just flops around like tangled wind chimes. Get it right and it moves like a gentle breath made visible. Some builders keep it minimal. 3 or 4 clean wooden forms, all pale maple or light birch, floating above a crib or reading nook. Others go big and wild. A forest of shapes branching out in every direction so broad you have to duck to walk beneath it. A big piece might have 20 or 30 elements, each dancing at its own lazy speed. Finishing matters. You want wood light enough to stay aloft but sturdy enough not to warp over time. Sand everything silky so air flows past without grabbing rough edges. Sometimes artists oil the wood for a soft sheen. Others leave it raw so each shape slowly picks up the room's scent and character over the years. And the hardware, that's a quiet art form of its own. Thin stainless rods bent by hand, nearly invisible monofilament, tiny swivels so the shapes spin freely instead of twisting up and choking the dance. A hidden hook in the ceiling. A single strand down to the first branch, then a cascade of balanced arms below. Hang it wrong and you ruin the magic. A good mobile needs space. Air on all sides. Enough room for each branch to swing a little when the heater clicks on or someone walks past. The right spot turns moving air, what most people call a draft, into an engine for soft, endless motion. People stand under a mobile and lose track of time. Kids point. Adults fall quiet. You see patterns that don't exist, connections between pieces that drift apart and rejoin as the whole sculpture turns. Unlike a painting, a mobile never repeats exactly the same composition twice. It lives. Making one teaches patience. You can't force balance. You can't rush the test and retest. Sometimes you spend an hour carving a shape, then scrap it because it throws the whole arm off balance. You trim it down, drill a new hole, shift the hanging point a hair to the left. Tiny tweaks, big difference. When it's right, it's effortless. You don't see the wires. You don't think about tension and leverage. You just see wood that flies, weightless and curious. It feels natural and impossible at the same time. There's no wrong room for a wooden abstract mobile. Over a dining table. In a baby's nursery. In a modern office with clean lines and big windows that leak sunlight all day. Some artists even hang them outdoors, under covered porches where they play in the breeze and cast moving shadows on the deck. The best mobiles age well. The wood darkens a little each year. Maybe a nick or dent appears where it brushed a wall during a storm. None of that ruins it. If anything, it makes it more honest. A living sculpture that wears the story of its era and its people like a soft, quiet tattoo. So next time you see a scrap of thin wood or a block left over from a bigger build, hold it up and imagine it in midair. Ask how it might hang. What weight would let it spin? What other piece might it need to balance its stubborn tilt? That's where a wooden mobile starts, with a shape, a question, and a willingness to let the air finish what you began.